Once again, very warm welcome to your own show, Gurseema's Gupshup. So yes, in today's program, a young girl is here to reveal the secrets of life and much more, and many more incidents he will be sharing. Very warm welcome to you, Saina.
Hello. Firstly, I'm so happy to be here.
Pleasure
Thank you
is
for
all
having
mine.
me. A little about me before we start.
Okay.
I'm Saina Mehra.
Right.
I just completed my 10th grade at Invictus International, Amritsar.
Perfect.
Where I studied the IGCSE curriculum.
And that is International Board?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And now next week I'll be going to the International School Bangalore, TISB, for my 11th and 12th.
That's nice. That's nice. So my dear, the sweet little girl, could you please ask what is your vision for life? If we say, because you are at the peak time of the being a teenager, then you have got so many ideas in your life, and when you have more ideas, a bit more confusion is also there.
Yeah.
So is that you are focused and clear that this stream you're gonna pursue in your coming times?
So I think I'm in a point of my life where I need to choose my major for college. I need to choose where
So
my
what
life
have
will
you,
be.
right, so what you have decided for the majoring?
I have not decided
Not yet.
And that's very unlike many people my age, because I'm looking at a lot of people my age and they
Right.
are so clear about what they want to do. Some people want to do business, some are for fashion, but for me, I'm really unclear about it.
It's okay. I think it's something very good that you are giving yourself time to decide, to pick and choose the right thing for
Yeah, I
yourself.
mean,
So it's fine.
Even thinking about the fact that I am supposed to make a decision that will shape, break or make my future ahead is scary.
It's scary, you
It
know.
is.
I think this is a dilemma, and this dilemma every young girl, every young boy is having these days. But I believe that you should go with your own ideas, with your own vision for life ahead. Of course, our parents, our mentors are there so that they can guide us. But then, Saina, I feel that there is some inner noders there. This you would like to choose.
I'm inclined towards many directions.
Okay.
And the thing is that all those directions are completely different.
Okay.
Like one part of me wants to do fashion and the other part of me wants to do clinical psychology.
Oh my God, fashionista and becoming a clinical psychologist. But for me, both are very nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there are a lot of other things also. I was considering behavioral economics for a very long time.
Okay.
And I still am. Up till now, I have decided to major either in behavioral economics or clinical psychology.
Or clinical psychology.
Yeah.
So yes, clinical psychology, even I have a bit inclination towards clinical psychology, so that's fine. Okay, now tell us, let's start from rewind the reel and let's start from your childhood days.
Okay. So
born and brought up in a nuclear family or in a joint family?
In a joint family.
In a joint family, come on, let's start.
So I grew up in a big happy joint family.
Right.
Ever since I was a child, I think I was 4 or 5, when I used to get sick like every day. I was constantly sick. I had stomach ache, I had headaches, fatigue, everything.
Right.
And no doctor could tell my parents why.
Why?
Yeah, and my parents had to, I think, fly to Delhi, Mumbai, all those big cities.
Just to pursue the treatment.
Yeah, and then I was diagnosed with celiac disease.
Sort of a wheat allergy.
Yeah, so that means I'm gluten intolerant. That means my body can't process gluten, which is an ingredient almost in every meal.
And it must be a very challenging stuff because you were too young at that time. How old were you?
I was 4 or 5.
And 4 or 5, it's something that a child can't, scrutinize the things, what to eat, what not to eat, and you have certain cravings. You, as a child, being a child, you would like to have so many things.
So many things.
So it must be very challenging.
That's the part of my life where my childhood took a turn.
It took a turn.
There were instances when I would cry and I would refuse to go to birthday parties as a child because everyone there would have cake, would have cupcakes, and I would either have a French fries there, or I would either have packed meals in my bag.
So you need to carry the meals along with you.
Because at that time there was no awareness. No one in Amritsar even knew what it was.
What the wheat allergy was.
So I was always that kid who had her packed meal in her bag. And
she's so young, and she has come out of it very smartly, very gracefully. But it was a very challenging situation the moment she is sharing. Please continue.
So it was very, very challenging for me, and at times the restaurants, I could just look at my parents. My dad would get a pizza because he wanted one. My mom would get a pasta because she wanted one. And for me, I never had that choice. The only
You're a single child? You have siblings?
No, I have a sister, elder sister.
Elder sister.
So the only choice I had was to ask them what's gluten free, and if they had anything gluten free, I would only have that. I had no other choice.
So if I say you have never can you enlist few of the meals which you have never ever tasted in life because of gluten?
Yeah, I've never tasted chicken nuggets.
Okay.
Chicken lollipop, and I've never tasted normal pizza, burger, pasta, and anything like that. I've never
had. You can have the
it.
chocolates and sweets.
Some. I can't have a lot of them. Like there are a few I can have. I can have Dairy Milk, Cadbury, 5-star.
Okay, this you can have.
Yeah.
Thank God. My purpose of asking was this only. Is that she can have this? Okay.
I've never had Kinder Joy. I remember as a child, my sisters, they would always, I have more than one sister, like I have cousin sisters, and we grew up together. So all of them would have Kinder Joys, and we all had a deal. They all would eat the Kinder Joy and I would play with the toy. So every single time I would have a collection of toys and they would eat.
But this is again this is something that yes, you can't ignore. She at such a young age, she has to face this thing, but she has smartly come out of it, and I am really happy that today we are hearing the life story of this little girl with the full of patience and compassion towards life. Okay, so if we start with if we start with your school days, what would you like to share?
School days as a celiac were also very difficult. I mean, we had these sharing days where everyone in school would get all the chocolates and goodies they had, and I remember once
So your schooling is right from the 10th and up till so right from your class 1, grade 1 to 10th?
Kindergarten I did in step by step.
Step by step.
Yeah, and first to 10th I was in Invictus.
Invictus.
Yeah.
Right. So some memories that you would like to share of your starting years?
Kindergarten for me, firstly with the gluten thing, I remember there were instances when I used to hide under my bench and eat stuff everyone else's tiffins. There were gems they had, and I would...
such an innocent, innocent deed, I could say, because yes, because once you were thinking you would not like to, but then you could steal the tiffin and under the cover you are eating. Please continue.
Yeah, and beyond just gluten, kindergarten for me was very fun. I was never the study kid. I have grown right now to be a study kid.
Yes.
However, as a child, I was never that kid. I mean, I remember celebrating getting a 3 out of 10 in math.
Seriously?
I would come
But
home.
she is so studious. I'll tell you, she is damn studious and a very bright child.
I would come home with a 3 out of 10, a 4 out of 10, and at rare times even a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
And my mom was happy for me.
Seriously,
My
she was
mom-
happy.
yeah.
So your mom is the best. All the credit goes to you, ma'am, because see, our parents are, fuming once they see the grades which are quite less. 2, 3, 0, 1, negative, all these things. So that's...
My parents never scolded me. They never told me to
Seriously?
study. Yeah.
They never scolded you because of your studies?
No.
And how much you scored in your latest?
I've not gotten my 10th grades back.
But if your prelims are there...
Yeah. So for my pre-boards, I got all A stars.
All A stars, girl. She's already mentioned. She's a A plus wala bacha.
So that's the thing. My parents never told me to study, and that's what made me study.
Acha, because your parents never ever, asked you to study or never ever scolded you for to continue with your books and your homework. And that's the only thing. कि सब enjoy कर लिया, सब कर लिया, आप पढ़ ही लेते हैं.
Yeah, up till I even failed 2 subjects in 2nd grade.
Okay. And which were those subjects?
Hindi
Horrible subjects.
and Punjabi.
Both the languages, Hindi and Punjabi. That's why this podcast is going more in English, So Hindi and Punjabi, you failed when you were in class?
2nd.
Class 2nd. Okay. So then what was the result of it?
My parents again, they didn't say anything.
So it's not even a single word?
No, because
they never said, Saina, what is this? Not even this?
No, they let me learn on my own. And I'm so grateful they did that, because after that...
What excellent parenting, yeah. My girls and my boys of her age, I want the more subscription this time for my, this episode.
I started studying on my own, and slowly.
Because no one asked you to study, so it was something that slowly and gradually got a inner nod ki yes.
I think many kids my age, they hate studying because they are being forced to study.
They are being forced, yes. Because it's always a sword hand, on their heads, sword on their head ki this grade you should, this is the percentage you should get it.
But for me, I was never forced to study, so I enjoyed studying.
Okay, because she was never ever forced. There was no sword hanging on her head. So that's the reason she automatically became a very studious child. Nice story. Okay, and the true story, please.
Yeah, so now I've been scoring almost full in every subject.
Full which subjects? Can you please?
Yeah, so in my 10th, I had 9 subjects. I had sciences, English as a first language, Hindi as a second language, international math, I had sociology, economics.
So how much in which subject you scored the maximum? All.
So I got an A-star in all subjects. So
in all subjects.
Can't really say.
All subjects. Just imagine.
And you know how I failed Hindi in 2nd?
Right.
I ended up getting an A-star in it. So in my 9th, I had my half yearlies, I had my midterms in my 9th, and Hindi I got a D.
You got a D? Which
is like 53%.
D grade?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is the lowest you can get before failing.
Before failing, the lowest. Okay.
Yeah. So even after that, my parents, they consoled me. They said it's okay. So
Achha, they never said ki why it's such a low grade you have got. They said it's okay.
They could see I was upset about it myself, and they consoled me.
Okay.
And then afterwards, I took it in my own hands. I got tuitions every Saturday, Sunday. I woke up at 9 a.m.
Even on Sunday.
Yeah.
This is the spirit, guys. This is the spirit. If you want to have the best grades in your curriculum, then this is the spirit.
I did Hindi tuitions for 2 hours. Then
2 hours and on Sunday. Hey Bhagwan, Sunday को 2 घंटे लड़की पहले हिंदी की ट्यूशन पढ़ती थी. It is the biggest thing that I have ever heard as far as the students of our age are concerned. Sunday is meant late उठना. Sunday is meant कहीं बाहर घूमने जाना. Sunday is meant to play cricket with your friends. I mean Sunday was never meant to study Hindi.
And then even after that, जब भी स्कूल से छुट्टी होती थी, I used to call my Hindi teacher and be like, आज छुट्टी, आप घर आ जाओ, फिर से क्लास लगाते हैं.
Wow.
Even though I didn't like it, I didn't like studying Hindi, I would always call him.
But then it is something, it is your self-responsibility that you have shown to grow and learn that language.
And my parents would tell me कि बस इतना कुछ नहीं होता, don't study that much, relax. But then I kept studying, and then towards the end, I went from a D, then I got a B, then I got an A, and now I got an A star.
Oh my God! From D to A star, the journey of learning Hindi is, truly witnessed by her. And I just got one season A, I thought must be A, but then she said A plus, I got the goosebumps. Because in my childhood, there have been certain subjects like my maths. It was something a very, very challenging process for me. But this is the right spirit to deal with your challenges. Okay. So, ये तो बातें हो गई आपकी school की, like whatever you. Besides your studies, how you felt about your some extracurricular activities, some games that you were inclined to pursue?
Extracurriculum, I've always had a deep love for words.
Okay.
Writing.
Deep love for words.
Writing.
So you write poetry?
Yes.
We would love to listen. Once again, the poet is here. So Gurseema would love to listen to your poems.
So writing has been like my playground for me when I was a child.
So you started writing at what age?
I started writing when I was very young. The thing was, when I was young, by the time that all my peers were saying full sentences, I could not even pronounce simple 3-letter words.
Seriously?
Yeah, I spent...
This episode itself gonna be motivating stuff for all the youngsters as well as for all the elder people, for the parents, because the live example is here. So please proceed. What was the issue?
So I could not pronounce words, and I think I spent 1 year in speech therapy. So
what was the reason? What the doctor said? Why you can't?
They said that it happens a lot. It happens more. My tongue, it could not bend in certain ways to pronounce certain words.
So you remember any word which you could not pronounce well, and you struggled hard to pronounce that word?
I pronounced really hard to say reception.
Reception.
Yeah.
And you were how old at that time?
I was, I think, 6, 7.
Okay.
So I spent like a year in speech therapy where...
In speech therapy you spent a year.
And then...
Here in Amritsar itself?
Yeah.
Okay.
So while I was there were so many thoughts in my brain that I could never say it out loud because I didn't know how to. And that's when it's not an understatement when I say that writing, it became my voice before speech ever could.
Ah, writing became your voice.
Yeah.
So can we listen to it, something of some of your writings, please?
I have it all written down.
Chalo, we will do one thing. We'll flash the card of her, handwritten, one of the masterpiece of her life. We will surely share with you. Okay. So, life was not that easy. It wasn't like other children.
Yeah, I think it's with everyone.
It's with everyone.
Everyone has their...
I see, and it's something I really appreciate her presence. It's not with everyone because the spirit she is sharing on this set of Gupshup, it's very unique, very exceptional, and yes, it is the biggest thing if you want to achieve something. I am so grateful that you are here today for the Gupshup. Chalein, isse proceed kare. What next?
Except writing.
Right. So, when you enter into your classes, let's listen something about your peer group, your friends. If something is there to share.
Oh.
She'll take a time to flash back the things, please. Anything you would like to talk about your...
Well, recently, I'm leaving my current school, right?
Right.
So it's been a really hard goodbye with my friends.
Oh, yes.
It's been...
And school friends are something always, they have a, that special place in our hearts.
Yeah, so it's like this thing that if the goodbye hurt, you know that you spend your time well. So just yesterday, I think they threw me a surprise farewell party.
How sweet.
Yeah, and yes.
See, your presence is demanding, very demanding.
Yesterday, it felt like I was truly loved. And they gave me handwritten letters, flowers, gifts.
So we'll share a small picture with our friends and peer group. I hope you will like it.
So I think that goodbye has been really hard, and that makes me realize that next week when I go to Bangalore for my schooling, it's going to be an entire new chapter for me.
Yes. But you are ready for that chapter?
I'm ready. Like, obviously there are sprinkles of nervousness.
Right.
Sprinkles of anxiety. But then I'm ready for it. I'm ready to see what...
But that's something, a new chapter, a new beginning, you're going to have it. So, and when she comes back, with the more big grades, and then we can have another episode with her.
Definitely. Right. So, I'm ready to see what life has in store for me.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So, when you write poetry, what are the topics that you normally deal with?
So, I write in almost every theme.
So, can we listen to a few of your poems? Take lines, please.
Again, I have it all written down. But I can talk a little about a poem that I recently wrote.
Right.
I wrote a persona poem.
Okay.
A persona poem is when you put yourself in the perspective of someone else.
Someone else, in a particular frame.
Yeah. So I put myself in the perspective of someone who has lost their loved one, and they find their loved one's sweater hanging. So it starts with, there I saw your sweater flung like you would be back. So then it slowly describes it describes the sweater with instances where the narrator, who is the grieving person, talks about how they feel as if the sweater is just going to hug them, how the sweater is going to exhale and breathe out.
How sweet, how sweet. Being a poet, I mentioned it twice that I would like to listen to it. It was my own inclination, but I am very satisfied with the words and the sentences she has shared, because that is the true spirit of a poet. Being a poet, dealing with these small things which the world or the passerbys easily ignored. You pick that small things, and then a masterpiece is written. So it was wonderful to listen to you.
And beyond just poetry, I love to write short stories as well.
Okay. So when you wrote the first short story, you remember it was about what?
Yeah, I remember my very first short story. My mom was sitting right next to me.
Okay.
And I was saying and she was typing it.
Acha. And it was all instant.
Yeah, because I was very young. I didn't even know how to type. So I was just saying anything and Mama was writing it down for me.
But the best part is your mom, your parents, they realize that the daughter is blessed with a special thing, a special gift of the God. So that's why She typed everything.
Yeah, and ever since then I had this dream that I want to grow up, I want to write my own book and even draw the illustrations myself.
Wow.
Yeah. A very recent short story I wrote was this very thrilling murder mystery that I love. So my favorite theme in not just writing but reading also are murder mysteries.
A murder mystery.
Yeah. So I wrote this.
Okay, let's listen to her.
I wrote this very chilling one where, so it's from the perspective of an unreliable narrator.
Okay.
Yeah. So it starts with the narrator finding a dead body in her hostel.
Being such a young girl, she can, think about all the, things which are, maybe the girl or a child of her age will not able to. So you found a dead body in the hostel.
Yeah. And then towards the end, the narrator is getting interviewed by the police officer and everything. And towards the end, you slowly find out that the narrator is the killer.
The narrator is the killer. टीवी में कोई ऐसी की सीरीज देखी थी छोटे होते?
नहीं, बस बहुत ज़्यादा बुक्स रीड की हुई है मर्डर मिस्ट्री के बारे में.
Murder mystery. This is the reason, right? Yeah. So, it solved this entire process.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think my writing has also been very built up with my reading.
That's very true, because when you will read more, you will express more, you will write more.
It's like you need to read like a writer and write like a reader.
Wonderful. यार छोटा सा बच्चा. This is a beautiful line she has said. You need to read
like a writer.
You need to read like a writer and write like the reader. Wonderful. Yeah, I am learning so much from her, to be honest. To my viewers, I would like to express that I am really happy that at least the show Gupshup is, we are able to meet and highlight the great personalities of in the world around us. Okay. So that's fine. And eating ka ho gaya. Achha, if you have any special things about your dresses or any certain ornaments that you have any inclination towards?
I have a lucky bracelet. I'm actually wearing it right now.
Oh, this is the lucky bracelet she's wearing. She was specially bought it for the Gupshup recording. Wonderful.
Yeah. So we were in Italy, I think 2 years ago.
Okay.
And my sister and I, we saw these ridiculously overpriced bracelets.
Okay. Overpriced bracelets.
And we convinced our dad to buy 2 of them for us.
Wow, sweet.
And my sister has one, I have one. Every single exam I have given, including my boards, including my APs, I have worn this bracelet with me.
Okay, so that's how she perceives the world around. She has got even the small things she has got that.
So my sister, she has been in a boarding school for the past 4 years. She has not been with me.
Okay.
And right now also she's going to college.
Okay. So what's the age difference between you and your sister?
18 months.
18 months, that's it.
Yeah,
okay.
So it's a very
What's her good name?
Suhani.
Suhani.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the age gap isn't very much, but then at the same time she's like a mother to me. She's like my mother.
You call her as with her name or as Didi?
I call her Su, as a short form of Suhani.
Suhani says Su. So Su, you have got such an adorable sister. She is, her eyes twinkle while she is talking about you. Please.
Yeah. So this bracelet is actually the fact that even though she's miles apart, she is with me.
Even though miles apart, she is with you.
So I always have this bracelet with me, because even now,
but what thing I'm liking the most about her is that because she is from this gen, the new gen, we say the new generation, that is right. But she is an emotional soul. She is connecting the world that is around, and from the heart she is connecting. This is the best thing. Because just to talk about the ornaments, just to talk about certain other things is one point. But it's something that, out of the full compassion and passion, she is sharing and living the life with. I loved it.
Thank you.
Okay, please proceed. So my cameraman has given it as 2 minutes are left. So 2 more minutes to explore your views for whatever your journey you would like to.
So 2 more minutes, I like to say that my life hasn't been easy. I've had lots of rocky starts, lots of rocky points in my life where I felt like, God, why me?
Why me?
But then towards the end, life.
What was your food thing that you said?
Yeah.
And anything else?
It's been a lot. Like there was food. I struggled with my academics for the longest time. And
seriously?
Yeah.
You are such a super duper intelligent bacha.
There was food, then there was a speech therapy.
Speech therapy.
And currently I'm struggling with a little skin problem with acne, which is something I think all teenagers deal with.
Girls are. So everyone will be listening to what next. Gusima, is that some therapy she's going to tell about? Aisa kuch nahi hone wala. The gupshup is for her, it's regarding her, but not for the acne. So you can ask your dermatologist for this. Okay.
So all I want to say is that life does get easier and you will get stronger.
Yes. You will get stronger day by day once you are walking. Agar main bolun, before we wind up, any one ultimate dream for yourself?
Ultimate dream for myself. Be happy and embrace myself.
That's it. So sweet.
I don't know what I want to do in my future, but I know
it's
that
like people say, I would like to become a doctor, and an engineer, a teacher, or an police officer.
I want to be a happy person.
This is something all the youngsters, please listen to this gupshup. It is worth, because yes, you would like to become an IAS officer, you would like to become a lawyer, it's fine. But then beforehand, you should be a happy person, a happy soul, sprinkling the love on everyone that you meet.
If you're happy, then everything around you is happy, no matter who you are.
Perfect. Wonderful. It was wonderful to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.